Okay, guys, I'm just going to be filming the deal analyzer just for anybody who finds it a little bit difficult to understand the one that's on Kajabi. I know there's quite a few people who are sending these to their VAs and things like that, as I am, and just having a little bit of like a hurdle doing that. So hopefully this one will make it clear whether you're a VA watching this or whether you are an investor watching this and again, you're just not quite getting it. Hopefully this will make it clear how you use the deal analyzer with regards to service accommodation. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen here. Okay, and going to also bring up the deal analyzer too. Okay. So when you're going through the deal analyzer, I've written down a couple of things. These are actually things that I've added in, and ideally, these are the numbers that you want. So when you're going through the location tab, you want to be looking for construction sites that are maximum 3 miles, 1 mile ideal, and then similarly here it'll say 1 to 1.5 miles for your town station, for your town centre. That's how far away you want these places to be. Just a little note here as well as a longer one for conference centres. If you're in walking distance, apparently they're really, really good. They're really worth going for, but 3 miles maximum. So what you're going to be doing most of the time, what takes the longest amount of time, is going through the competitor analysis tab, okay? Now, I've actually prepared one already, and this is a 2-bedroom sleep 6 in Edge Hill. Now, in terms of location, I'll be doing the location in another video, because what I want to do now is just focus on competitor analysis. So what I've done is I've gone on to booking.com and I've gone on to Airbnb, okay? And I'm looking to stay in Edge Hill. So I've clicked on map area, I've said Edge Hill, I've picked a date that's in the future, so the 11th to the 14th of January 2023. It's the 17th of October 2022 right now. And on booking.com, I've asked for 6 guests. Sorry, for Airbnb, I've asked for 6 guests. And booking.com, I've just put in Merseyside because they didn't have Edge Hill specifically. And I'm looking 4th of January to the 7th of January. So Wednesday to the Saturday again, 2023. 6 adults, and it'll say 3 rooms. But when we go through and we actually look at the map here, we'll get our own opportunity to select the properties that are most like ours. So if you found yourself a property that is, so in this example, a 2-bed sleeps 6, you're going to be going through here and you're going to see ones that say 2 bedrooms. You'll open it up, and when that opens in here, you're just going to go down and make sure that it's going to be like how you're running yours, okay? So you're going to be running yours with, here you are, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, and a sofa bed. So that's pretty much standard affair for R2SA. 2 bedrooms, and someone will be on the sofa bed. And what you're going to be doing is getting enough of those that you can fill in the competitor analysis tab. So the competitor analysis tab, what you want to do is just put the name of the property in here. Property type, 2-bed sleep 6. And then you're going to be putting in the price per person per night. Now on booking.com, this is really easy because what you can do is simply have a look here. Just make sure as well to note down any cleaning fees or anything like that that they might charge, or service fees, okay? So this one is 128 a night. So what you would do is bring it over here and you would type that in and you would say, right, this property is going to be going for 128 a night. And that's where you put that here. Now for booking.com, if we go back over here, booking.com have a slightly different model a lot of the time. What usually happens there is that you book the property, and no matter whether you have 1 guest or 6 guests, you will be charged the same amount. Just by the way, if you want to check the different prices, this is for later on, but you can alter the amount of guests that you have here. But that's for later on. We'll keep that at 6 guests now. On booking.com, we'll open up our apartments. We'll find somewhere like this. We'll look at 3 nights, 6 adults, okay? So what we're going to do is divide that number by 3 and put it into our table. Now that's specifically for booking.com. Airbnb, you can just use the number that it says, but just make a little note if there's any cleaning fees or service fees afterwards. You'll then go through and have a look at the average review scores. Now you're only going to be looking at properties that are renting on booking.com at 8 or above, and on Airbnb, you want to be looking at 4 or above. So all the scores that we have here meet those criteria. 4.6, that's an Airbnb. This is a 10, that's booking.com. 9.2, booking.com. 9.5 and 9.3 are booking.com. And this one is Airbnb, 4.3. I've also added in the URL for each of these properties here. So all I've got to do is go here, copy that, and then go over to my deal analyzer, and I can paste it in. Also, I'll make a couple of little notes just in case I need to. So for here example, I've got that this is quite new to booking.com. This one I'm saying that it's blocked out in December, which is a really good sign. It means it's very popular. Or it's a house that someone rents and they will live in themselves sometimes. That's something that you usually just need to get a feel for. It's not very easy to tell, and unless it's very obvious. And then this one says, well booked until New Year when it's blocked out. That was just a note that I made for myself. So as you go through, you're going to make sure that you are finding the exact same properties, you're getting their prices down, you're getting their review scores down, and then you're going to have a look in the reviews. Now, I haven't written down the positives and negatives here. I actually wrote those down separately, but what you want to do is have a look at what people are saying is good about the property. So that'll give you an idea of why people want to stay there. And you want to see what people are saying wasn't so great about the property. And that will usually give you a really good niche in the market where you can say, well, your property does have this, or it doesn't have issues with this. So you've gone through, you've found your comparables, and you've deselected. So what you've probably done is gotten this long list of 40 tabs, and you've been hitting X a lot. And usually what happens is you come down to about 5, 6, or 7. You need at least 5 or you walk away. Remember, you need at least 5 or you walk away. What we're going to do next is going on to the price analysis tab here. So what you do here is you bring in your competitors. Now you need to bring in every single one that you found on that previous page that you've listed here. You're going to bring through and list here as well. And what I've done is I've looked for, in my weekdays, I've gone October, Wednesday to Saturday. And then on my weekends, I've done October, Friday to Monday. And then that's given me an idea of how much to charge. So this first one, this was some booking.com ones. You can see that October, Wednesdays to Saturdays was 156. So I got that number just by going onto here, looking up how much it was. I just made sure it was either in October or as close as I could get to it. So this one is this is actually a different property. However, you'll be looking here and you'll be looking, okay, Wednesday to Saturday, apply the changes. Scroll to here, divide that number by 3 because you've asked for a 3-night booking. So divide that number by 3, and that's how much you'll be charging for this particular apartment per night. So you'll enter that in here. So you'll do that for every one of your properties. Same with the Airbnb ones. Now, this section is at the weekend, so Saturday nights. So we're going to go back. And we're going to say, okay, availability. Now, again, I've done Fridays to Mondays, so I'm going to say Friday night to Monday night. Apply changes. 6 adults, 3 rooms. You'll take that number, divide it by 3. You'll come back to your deal analyzer, and you'll put those numbers in there, okay? So you're going to get a feel for how much these properties are renting for on the weekdays and on the weekends. So moving on from there, we're going to now have a look at the weekdays in 3 months' time. So again, it's a really simple way to do that. You come back to your calendar, You go to January, you go Wednesday to Saturday, apply changes. Okay, take this number, divide it by 3, pop it into your deal analyzer. Okay, and then if we decide to go and have a look at Friday to Monday, again, 3 months time, we're looking at January here. We'll take that number, we'll divide it by 3. You guessed it, we're going to put it in our deal analyzer. And we're going to pop it in there, because here is the weekend, Saturday nights in 3 months' time. And here's the weekdays. You can also make little just notes here, just if your property is really popular, it might be blocked out, or if it's somewhere where somebody stays themselves, it might be blocked out. You're going to start to get some numbers in for how much you can make per night on this property. Now, the property that I've used in this example is a little bit different because, as you can probably see, there's a bit of a spread. Now, I just need you to bear with me whilst we go through this next bit, because usually you'll have fairly normal numbers. However, this was just one that I was doing today. It meets the rules and it passes the analyzer as well. And I've just made some notes here just about cleaning fees and just said, right, a couple of these places are charging cleaning fees, charging a service fee. There's a little bit of a spread. So what I'm going to do is say, right, the very, very least that I can charge here is 130 a night. So I'm going to say 130. That 250 is what I'll put the weekend bookings on for, but 130 is what we're going to be using going forward. Anyways, that's just a little side note for now. You're going to fill in all these different prices, okay? And then go on to the analyzer. You're going to put the name of your property in here, how much you're going to rent it out for per night, how much you're going to be paying per month in rent, and then little things like the cleaning fees. So remember, I made that note. I'm going to pop it in there. And what you want to do is mainly leave this stuff on alone, unless there's something in here that you know really needs to change. So your property might be different to mine. Mine already came quite furnished, so I've only had to put in £2,000 for the decorating costs. If you have to put more in, then you might want to say 6,000 for a really full furnish. And it's going to give you an idea of how much money you can make with one guest here. And it's going to be saying your occupancy. You're interested in 50% occupancy here. So you want to make sure that at 50% with one guest, you're going to be making at least £0. You want to be breaking even here. What you then next want to do is go to 70% and make sure your profit is over for R2SA. You want to make sure that it's over 750, and for owned SA, you want to make sure it's over 1,000. You can go over here as well, and you can play around with just having a look at guests over base. So if you have more people come in, then that's how much money you're going to make. On this one, that's slightly down, and the reason for that is that I'm not charging any extra money per person. However, like I said, I'm using a really low number here of 130, right at the bottom of where I think this place is going to rent for, and the numbers are still making me very happy. So that's a property I think I would go ahead with. So that in the deal analyzer is most of the time that you'll spend doing the price analysis, the competitor analysis, and the location, like I said, is a separate video. Now, just a few things to remember whilst you're going through the deal analyzer and doing your competitor analysis. Your competitors need to have quite a few things. What am I trying to say? They certainly need to have quite a few characteristics to make sure that you can call them real competitors. Okay, so like I said, you've got to have they've got to be the same type of property. But when you're going through them on Airbnb and Booking.com, when you're going through that calendar, you need to make sure that these places have 10 weeks of forward bookings. Okay, so how do you check that? So earlier we were having a look at this property. Now, we want to make sure that we're not entering into an area where the market's really saturated. We want to make sure that there's still enough demand. So all we've got to do is find 10 separate weeks over the entire next year where there is a booking, okay? So for example, this one, today is the 17th, but there is a booking later on this week. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we are. So we've got 10 forward bookings in the next year. You want to make sure that that is the case for both Booking.com and Airbnb. Because again, you don't want to be entering a market that's saturated where your property is just not going to get any attention unless it's really, really screaming and you've had to spend a hell of a lot of money on making it very, very niche. So I hope this video has helped anybody that is struggling with the deal analyzer a little bit. If you have any questions, if you're a VA, just ask whoever is employing you. If you have any questions and you're just watching this video because you're on VIP or you're one of the other investors working with Insight, my name's Ewan Harkis, as you can probably see down there. Do just send me a message on WhatsApp. I'd be more than happy to help you out a little bit more. Thank you very much.